What's up, YouTube? What's up, world? Um, I'm new to YouTube. I've been a long time lurker. So I'm actually creating this video, hopefully to inspire, hopefully to motivate. As you can see my background here, I'm at Ronald Reagan Park. Super nice park. This is actually a really popular area. A lot of people come here to, clear their mind. Got like a little mini waterfall behind me. But the title of this video is why I quit my 9 to 5, engineering edition. So, quick background about myself. Graduated December 2019, mechanical engineering. A couple of months before I graduated, I accepted a job opportunity with one of the largest defense contractors in the world, in the United States, but also in the world. So, I wanted to kind of share my story a little bit on why I quit my 9 to 5 and why it's so important to go live your life and do what you want to do. Live life on your own terms and not according to other people's standards. But quick background, December 2019 graduate. I accepted my job opportunity with the largest defense contractor in the world. A couple of months before graduation, my father was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and then he had other ailments to go along with the cancer. So that really didn't help his situation. My father was a huge support system for me while I was in college. So, I did engineering. So if I would fail a test, which I've failed many exams, and I would have to go back and retake them, he was my support system, him and my mother. So I would always call my dad. I would pick up the phone and say, hey, I just failed this exam. And his advice was, to basically sit comfortable in failure, be comfortable with failing. And I did. I think I succeeded in failing. And even now in life, I'm succeeding in failing. So, but yeah, he took ill, and I was sort of hesitant on even moving forward with the offer that I accepted, which I accepted, the offer before I graduated in December 2019. And of course, with that, there's a background and a lot of other, checks and balances that you have to go through. So, to get clearance. So, I ended up, getting my clearance and everything. I received approval. I can't remember how the process went, but I ended up receiving approval, which I got. Yeah. After that, I had about 6 months to spend with my dad because my offer didn't start till June of 2020. So June 1st, 2020, I think was when my first day of working was. But a little before that, I had about 6 months to sort of care for my dad, sort of get used to. There were a lot of things that I wasn't used to. I had to, I was my dad's main caretaker. So I was hesitant on accepting that offer, but I ended up accepting it anyway because a lot of people kept telling me, that's what your father would want. He would want you to take this opportunity. It's an opportunity of a lifetime. So, and of course, it was my foot in the door being a, new graduate, new to the tumultuous engineering world. So, but anyway, fast forward, I accepted the offer. I started. I loved it from the start. I loved the orientation. I loved how they got the new hires acquainted with everything. They got us set up with, our laptops and our computers. I love meeting my engineering team. I loved it from the start. I was in the honeymoon phases at this point, but those honeymoon phases, they wore off, and I was like, oh my gosh. There were a lot of project deadlines, a lot of constraints, in which I met very well. I've had good reviews. So yeah, and I've contributed a lot to the team. I was big on 3D printing and all these other cool technologies, these other cool softwares, which I sort of integrated into my team. But of course, there was a learning curve for me. So, honeymoon phases, they wore off. And I think I started suffering from, I hear this term a lot, but burnout. Like I started suffering a lot from the burnout. I started, seeing other engineers constantly trying to move up. They would, play this game where they leave and then they'll come back at a higher level. So they were constantly fighting for a higher salary, a better title. And me myself, I'm a new engineer. I was satisfied with my salary. I was satisfied with it. I wasn't complaining. The only thing that could have been better was, of course, adjusting my salary, which they did, but adjusting it according to the cost of living, because every year cost of living is rising. It still is, and I don't understand that. I feel like it's a part of that is corporate greed. Another larger part of that, of course, are the interest rates, which are insane. But yeah, I ended up just suffering from burnout, and then of course dealing with my father. You know, having to run back and forth to Chicago because where I worked was in Marietta, Georgia. So I would take the 10.5 hour drive back home to Chicago, and it was sort of a back and forth thing. So yeah, it was a conglomeration of everything. So burnout, my father, stress. A lot of times I would take mental health days just to kind of clear my mind, like I'm out in nature now, trying to clear my mind. You see a gentleman behind me trying to, clear his mind. So meditation is so important. But yeah, I just I I just saw more to life than chasing a salary, chasing the material things. You know, I'm not interested in the job titles. Yeah, I got a degree in mechanical engineering, yes, but it doesn't. I love the inner workings of engineering. I don't like the corporate aspect of it where I'm clocking in 40 hours a week, or sometimes, we're working a little over that 40 hours, which a lot of people do a lot of people do it just to make ends meet, but also you're doing it to meet deadlines, to sort of impress. And I'm not interested in impressing. Of course, I wasn't interested in office gossip, office politics and things like that. That wasn't feeding my soul. I wanted to do something that fed my soul. But fast forward to, I started there in June of 2020. I worked there for a couple of years before accepting another offer, which I also left. But I found a lot more flexibility with the second offer that I was sort of introduced to, and I started working with. I was fully remote with that second opportunity, but anyway, first opportunity. My father sort of took a turn for the worse, and in my mind, it really did something to me mentally. So I ended up, you know, driving back home. I ended up putting in my 2 weeks notice, and I spent about 2 weeks with my father before he passed away. He passed back in July of 2022, and yeah, I ended up putting in my notice. Then, after working for about 2 years with this particular company or defense contractor. So, but in losing my father, it it woke me up inside. I had to travel into inner space to ask myself, what do I see myself doing for the next 20, 30, 40 years? And fortunately enough, I learned a lot from my father. But my father was a brand new retired. He just retired. And he had only been retired for about 6 years before he passed away. And I just look at a lot of people today, and I look at where society is going with social security that may not be there in 5 years. Who knows? That may not be there, but yeah, he only spent 6 years of his life and not really even enjoying himself because you know, he had ailments. He got sick, but he taught me a lot. And I think that situation and caring for my father taught me a lot. It taught me the value of time, the value of life, the importance of not putting everything into material possessions and not caring about that, but more so caring about the experiences that life has to offer. So that's what I learned. I had to travel into inner space to realize that myself. And yeah, I think after that, I took my first international trip. It wasn't far. I wanted to go somewhere close, but I had the opportunity to, and I'll probably post these videos a little later, but, and some shorts. I got a lot of YouTube shorts that I'm dying to post, but I've been to Cancun, and from there, I kind of traveled and ventured into Chichen Itza, which is the pyramid. So I had the opportunity to, travel there. I met a lot of people. My second opportunity to travel out the country was I've been to Qatar. I flew Qatar Airways. Anytime you fly Qatar Airways, you have to go into Doha, and then from Doha to your destination. So I flew into Qatar, had a stopover on the way to Nairobi, Kenya. And I spent 8 days in Nairobi, Kenya, just exploring, trying the food, meeting the people. I thought I met my wife 10 times over, I swear. So many beautiful people there, so many beautiful women, so many beautiful people in general. Not a lot of crime, really good food, good vibes. So I spent 8 days there. I did 2 safaris. I did Nairobi National Park, and I did Amboseli. I had the time of my life. And at that moment, I realized this is what life looks like for me. This is what I want to be doing in my life. So, but yeah, I hope that this video inspired you guys. I hope that it sparked something in you guys. I definitely have a spark in myself. Something that just ignited earlier on in myself, and I hope I motivated you guys. The next steps for myself. What does life after? And I'm not completely giving up on engineering. Like I say, I like the ability to. I like flexibility. So I actually like the idea of contracting now. I like the ability to be able to work an assignment for 6 months or 12 months or even 2 years and, save my money, put a little bit up in my 401k, max that thing out if I can, but also put money up to create more experiences, not more material possessions. And that's another thing. I'm actually going a minimalist route, and I'm downsizing a lot. So I'm getting rid of the junk that I don't need, and I'm not saying, BMW was junk, but I love BMW. That's part of the reason why I got into engineering, that and aerospace. But just a lot of the things that I feel like I don't need, that don't add value to my life. A lot of things that I've seen in the past that, if I get this thing, this will impress the next. I'm not looking to no longer impress anybody. I just want to live life on my terms, as simple as I can. So, but yeah, my next steps, currently enrolled in teaching English as a foreign language. I kind of came across this opportunity on, I think it was goabroad.com, or there are a couple of websites, but I'm currently enrolled in a course. I'm about 8 weeks in now. So this is my 8th week. I have about 3 more weeks left. And then I have to complete a 20-hour practicum. So I have to have at least 6 hours of tutoring or teaching and another 14 hours of observation, which I believe is optional. But I'm excited for this opportunity. And I'm hoping to either You guys might see me in Thailand or Japan. So, but I'll, you know, keep you guys updated. So stay tuned. Once again, my name is Frank. Love you all. Peace. Self-introspection. I also did a self-assessment. Now, my self-assessment was simple. You know, what bills do I have? What commitments do I have? Do I have any dependents? I don't have any children, so no dependents. The only thing I have is, you know, my car note, of course, a couple of bills, phone bill, and bills that are attached to my apartment, which is, you know, my internet bill, you know, water, trash, everything that's included.